And this is how it all started. 365. They were 365 days of 365 illustrations. They were 365 different experiences, 365 opportunities to explore my creative process, and 365 moments that I set aside to spend with myself. So what did I get out of this daily practice? Well, that's what I'm going to share with you in this video. Hi, my name is Adriana Galash and welcome to my channel. All of a sudden it started to rain. Slowly but surely, one little drop at a time. But the drops were not made of rainwater and they did not wet the ground. They didn't trickle down the window, nor was there a puddle to be found. And so the story goes as follows about this unordinary cloud of ideas that hovered in the air, of thoughts unsaid aloud. Well, usually my creative process is mostly guided by my feelings, where instinct is in charge rather than awareness and rational thinking. But to create the content for this video, I had to think my process through and translate my abstract feelings into something tangible to transmit to you. In the beginning it was a great big mess of jumbled ideas and all, and from that brainstorm the lightning shook the cloud and the drops began to fall. As my thoughts began to come together, the drops started to weigh down. They fell to irrigate the soil, making the ideas sprout and bloom from the ground. So shall we see what ideas have bloomed for this video? Well, in my last video I talked about awakening our inner child and reclaiming our imagination to help us through our creative process in order to inspire our creations. However, our influences don't always come from an imaginary source, but from the challenges of the real world and how it affects our deepest thoughts. So before a bare white canvas, we pour out our hearts as we release, our silent outburst in full color, and our hearts somehow find relief. Now if we find we're lost for words or the unbearable can't be said, our hands find their own voice and speak for us instead. So may the expression of our hands reflect our most truest inner selves, and may we have deep, meaningful conversations through what our creations have to tell. Now, some of you may be thinking, it all sounds good in theory, but how do my hands find their own voice? And how do I express my silent outburst in full color, and how can I find that therapeutic release? And what if I don't even know how to draw? Well, I'd say that doesn't really matter at all. Drawing is for everyone. So I've come to share with you a few good reasons why you should pick up your pencil and give it a go. First of all, because it relieves stress and lowers our levels of cortisol. It stimulates creative thinking. It can help you develop and stimulate brain function. It can help deal with repressed emotions. It activates the reward system of the brain. It can improve the quality of life. And the list goes on. Little did I know that something that I started out doing just for fun would bring me so many benefits. So what do we need to get started? Well, first of all, we've got to set our self-criticism aside. And who made up the rules anyway? Who said that every drawing necessarily needs to become a masterpiece? And why do we put so much pressure on ourselves? And who says drawing is exclusively for artists or for children for that matter? To illustrate my point, I'm going to share with you a thought I had when I read the book The Little Prince. The character of the story, a little boy at the time, was really fascinated by what he had seen in this book. And this one picture really caught his attention. It was a picture of a boa constrictor devouring another animal. So the little boy was so impressed with the fact that boa constrictors could swallow animals much larger than themselves that he decided to register his discovery by making a drawing. Once he was done, he decided to show his drawing to the grown-ups. Maybe not such a great idea. When he asked them if his drawing made them feel afraid, they'd say, "Why would a hat make me feel afraid?" But he hadn't drawn a hat. He drew a boa constrictor that had swallowed an elephant. So, to facilitate the grown-ups' understanding of his drawing, he drew a second drawing, showing the boa constrictor from the inside. But they didn't seem to care that much about his drawings. They just told him to put his pencils aside and focus on more important things, such as his subjects at school and whatnot. So that little boy at the age of 6 put his illustrations aside, and the world lost what could have been a really great artist. So what I find interesting about children, when they want to draw something, they just go ahead and do it. You don't hear them say things like, "I don't know how to draw a boa constrictor. I've never drawn a boa constrictor before." They just pick up their pencils and do it. And what if instead of setting our pencils aside, we pick them up and see what happens? So I look forward to having you join me on this journey of self-discovery. And I'll be guiding you through some simple exercises that will be both soothing and also help you develop your self-expression. In this illustration, I didn't give her a mouth because I wanted it to represent the way we can also express ourselves through images and not just through words. But I wanted to bring a real-life emotion into the drawing. I had recently run into a person I hadn't seen in a very, very long time. And after asking the person how things were doing, I noticed this dark gloominess coming over his eyes, like dark clouds forming just before a storm. And that's the reason why I included the clouds in the eyes. And after exploring some of these tools of self-expression, I'll also be showing you how to use the markers to bring a little bit more color into our drawings. After all, not everything needs to be cloudy and gloomy, because after every thunderstorm comes the sunshine. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell.